Welcome to Living a Life by Design. It's the journey back to you and living 365 days of purpose with your host, Esther Graham. Did you know your accountability and possibility is by design? God designed a phenomenal life for you, gave you the gift of choice. Esther helps empower you to discover and pursue the purpose that is already in you. Are you ready to look at yourself and see your future? Then get back to what is really important in life and get in alignment with your true self. Stay tuned to Living a Life by Design. Journey back to you and start living 365 days of purpose with your host, Esther Graham. It all starts now.
Hello, and welcome again to Living a Life by Design with me, your host, Dr. Esther Graham. I'm so super excited that you are here to join us today for a juicy conversation with my very special guest, Aisha Ferrell. Aisha is not only one of my mentees for years, although right now, I used to be her boss at one point, but now I think that she's 100% thinks that she's my boss in every area. Okay. So we go a ways back, and well, we're going to talk today, however, because I'm going to have Aisha reintroduce herself. I'm super excited about this conversation because it's a conversation that needs to be had, but from a totally different perspective, a perspective of victory, a perspective of joy, a perspective, from the place, let's say, of healing and victory and joy. So Aisha is not only one of my mentees, but she's also a very good friend. I consider her a part of my family. And she is also, y'all, an educator, an early childhood educator, which you guys know, I think early childhood educators are the best because we're the ones that help shape the minds of little ones so they could be great, wonderful adults. That's the mission, right? That's the mission. So not only is she an educator, she's a mother of two. And here's another, she's a minister. But I think one of the things that I really admire the most about Aisha, because I've seen her resiliency in all of her journeys that she's gone through, but she's also a breast cancer survivor. Ooh. So come on, let's celebrate. Yeah. And of course, you guys know October is Breast Cancer Prevention Month. And so what a perfect time to interview Aisha and talk today about her journey as being a breast cancer survivor. So Aisha, I'm going to have you reintroduce yourself, share with us whatever you would like to share with us, and then let's get the conversation started. Ladies, everyone, let's just give Aisha some love when you're looking on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Go ahead and heart her up, love her on her, and put your questions in there with anything you like. I just have one more thing. Well, I tell you what, I'll do it on the next segment. Go ahead, Aisha, let's talk.
Hey, everybody, good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. Like Esther said, my name is Aisha Ferrell. I am a mother of two. I have a son who is 14 years old and a daughter who is 10 that I absolutely love. I enjoy motherhood. I enjoy being a mother. It's the best job in the world, I think. But like Esther said, I'm an educator. I love education. I love working with people, especially early childhood professionals, because we are professionals. And so I love that. But I love inspiring and empowering people and just spreading joy. I pride myself on waking up every morning and having a smile on my face, no matter what's going on, no matter what diagnosis, no matter what's going on in my life, ups and downs, I'm going to smile. I'm going to enjoy life. And like Esther said, I am a breast cancer survivor. Woo! It was a journey, y'all. It was a journey. It has taught me so much about life. It has taught me so much about maintaining an attitude of gratitude, maintaining an attitude of joy, no matter what comes my way. And so I think that the breast cancer diagnosis gave me what I call is the journey to joy. And I say that
I
because
love that, the journey to
the
joy.
journey to joy, because you may have these things that are occurring in whatever that journey is, but the ultimate goal is to have joy, exceedingly and abundantly joy, no matter what. And so that is like the basis of, what I stand for. I understand this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and there's so many women that are affected by breast cancer. And so I have made it my vision, I've made it my mission to make sure the people that are around me and the people that I know and do not know have what they need to do what they need to do to survive. And I have been doing breast cancer awareness for like 20 some years. And so when it hit me,
I was going to say
I'm about
before,
to get there. Yeah, before
always
I
had a
had it.
passion for it because you just have a passion for women's health overall and
Right.
being healthy. And so before you were even diagnosed, you have always been doing it. I think that's just so amazing. I also think this is how sometimes God just plans us out. You just have this passion for this. And so when now you're diagnosed, it's like, while it's like hit as a shock, like, oh my God.
That was crazy.
It's
I
a
was
pause,
like, what?
yeah, it's the wait, hold up. I'm the one that's doing the awareness. I shouldn't be this person. So talk to us a little bit about your diagnosis, how you got there, how you were diagnosed, and just that whole and how you felt when you were told that.
Well, first of all, I had always done my checks like monthly, because that's what we're asking for you to do, is to check your breast monthly, so that when things, or if things change, you understand why. Because you've been doing the same thing, same motion every month, every time, the same time. And that's a part of detection. That's a part of early prevention. So anyway, the other thing is that I encourage is weight loss. And you know this, Esther. I used to be 400 pounds. I had a lot of weight on me. And when you're heavier, you can't feel a lot of the lumps and bumps. So after I lost the weight, I started feeling things. And so the year before my diagnosis, I went to the doctor and I'm like, hey, something doesn't feel right, but it wasn't anything. It was on a different breast. I mean, it wasn't anything. But the fact that I had lost the weight allowed me to see and feel different things that I couldn't have seen before. So I encourage, as much as you possibly can, to do what you need to do to support a healthy weight. And I'm still on that journey. That's a journey that never stops. You always are searching and working towards a healthy lifestyle. So working on my weight was one of the things that helped me detect breast cancer and probably allowed me to detect it early. So anyway, in July of 22, I started feeling something and I went to my doctor. She sent me right away. I did, the ultrasound, I did the mammogram, and then they brought me in and they set me down and told me that you need to do a biopsy. What you're feeling is something and we're concerned. So knowing me and my busy life, I put it off. Don't
Which,
put it
like,
off.
by the way, everyone, we all have a busy life and we all put things off, especially when it comes to our health. It's like it's not a priority. Like we know it's there, but it's not a priority. So you heard what she said. She put it off and she said, don't put it off.
Don't do
Yeah.
it. It was so bad. They called me and said, Miss Ferrell, you need to come in because you've waited too long and you need to come in. So I went in and she just basically said, Miss Ferrell, you have breast cancer. And the first thing I did was I chuckled. It was just a natural chuckle because I was in shock. And I looked at her and I said, am I going to die? Am I going to die? And she said to me, if you want to die, you will die. But if you want to live, then you fight. And I looked at her and I said, well, let's fight. And so my message to anybody and everybody, the diagnosis might be whatever it may be. But if you want to live, then choose to live. And if you want to fight, choose to fight. That's all you have. That's whether it's breast cancer, whether it's divorce, grief. You have a choice to live and to live a life by design, or you can die. And I'm not dying. And I encourage all of you to live. So that's how it started.
What's wonderful about that is that you made a decision when you asked the question, am I going to die? And the doctor's response is that if you want to live, you can live, you know? And so we have to make, and if you fight, we have to make a decision that we want to live, but it's
Right.
not just making the decision to live. It's also saying I'm going to fight. I think about Jill Martin and Jill Martin last year. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but Jill Martin um, was diagnosed, I believe it was last year, and I think now she's on a year. And so she began to share her story on TV publicly, and such a great story. But one of the things that she said was that it's a fight. Yeah, we can make a decision that yes, we're going to live. But then after we make that decision, then it's like the fight is on, and it's like a fight for your life. And only you could fight for your life, right? And then here's this, which I know this is what you did. Surround yourself in a community that's ready to fight with you.
Yep.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about, well, continue on the journey.
Okay. So, your initial reaction is that of a shock. You're still in shock. I did not have a breakdown after that until like a couple of weeks later. I was like, I have breast cancer. I have breast cancer. Me, the one that has been preaching the same thing to everybody. I was mad with God. I was like, look, dude, like that's how I talk to God. I'm like, no, this can't possibly be. How me? And so after getting over that.
What's also interesting about that is that you've always did the cancer prevention month. You've always fought. But yet when you went and they said for you to come in, you delayed it. You know how sometimes we're telling people, no, you got to go check. You got to go check. But then sometimes when it comes to us, it's like, oh, wait a minute. I got this to do. I got that to do. And again, I go back to, we put ourselves and our health last when really it should be first. Right. Number one.
Yeah. I think we're caretakers. So we always take care of everybody else. We always make sure everybody is straight. My kids, their schedules, all of their needs, their medical needs, their extracurricular activities. I'm running, I'm cooking, all of those things I'm doing for everybody else. And I put myself last. And that's just a message to us as women that you have to be first, especially because you're pouring out in ministry, pouring out to your spouse, pouring out to your children, whatever your job is, whatever you're doing in the community, you're pouring out to everybody, but you cannot do that empty. There are so many women that have heart attacks and don't know it because they're steady running. They just think it might be a little indigestion. They're not listening to their bodies. They're not listening to their, going to the doctor, and we put ourselves last. We cannot put ourselves last. And I'm learning that. That's a lesson I'm still learning. We're constantly learning, but we have to learn to put ourselves first, then put our energy into the ones that we love and the ones we care for.
We're about to go on a quick break, everyone, but with ending of this segment, it's just to think that we have to serve from our overflow. We serve ourselves first.
Right.
I always give the analogy of the coffee cup, like what I have right now. This is my coffee cup with the beautiful pink woman. And so this is my coffee. I can't give you my coffee out of my cup, but I can't share this. But what I can do is if the coffee begins to overflow, let's say, and so now it's going into the saucer, I can serve you from the saucer, but I can't serve you from the cup. The cup is mine. So this is it. You've got to fill your cup first, like on the airplane. Mm-hmm. You put the oxygen in you first, and then you can serve someone else. Let's go to a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome to once again Living a Life by Design with my very special guest, Aisha Ferrell. Listen, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so we want to bring everything to the forefront. So this is, or breast cancer awareness is breast cancer prevention. Listen, we are in a times to where while breast cancer diagnoses have gone down and all of these things, but we still where we have to eliminate it. Still so many women are being diagnosed every year with breast cancer. It's like I'm always hearing about it. I know people, who not just Aisha. And so what is it, how do we go through this journey? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Talk
think that prevention, like you said, is so important, Esther. And I know it doesn't feel good to get a mammogram. Nobody wants to go through it. They're,
Mhm.
Messing with you, it's hurting.
Oh
You
no, I
don't
might be
want
the
to
only
do
one.
it.
I definitely don't. It hurts.
But I'm telling you, if you prevent it, and if they can catch it early, then you're in a better position. If it starts to spread and it gets too far gone, then you know there's only so many things that they can do. When I was diagnosed, I was at stage 2, but it was already spreading into
Mm,
my lymph nodes, and so I was stage 2, borderline stage 3. And then
yeah.
when it's stage 4, that's when it's sometimes uncontrollable. And
Mm,
so we had to aggressively hit it. We had to aggressively attack it. There wasn't a time to wait any longer. I couldn't put it off any longer. It also made me have to slow down. I didn't want to, and some things I still did, but I had to slow down because I had to go through treatment. And everybody's treatment looks differently. But for me, they started me aggressively. And so I started chemotherapy. So actually, in the month of September, I started my first chemotherapy session. It was September the 9th, was my first chemo session, September the 9th, 2022. And then by October, the 3rd of October, I had to cut my hair because my hair had fallen out and it was falling out bad. There were so many things that affected me with chemotherapy. Another thing is that it pushed me straight into menopause. So I'm a young woman. I consider myself a little young, not that young, but I'm a young woman. I'm now going through chemotherapy. It took my hair, it took my womanhood, and
mm,
now I had to second guess who I am, what I am. I'm going through all of these physical changes. And so it messes with your mental health. It messed with my self-esteem. There were a lot of things that I was facing, and I'm still coming to work. I'm still going to church. I got to show up. I'm a mom. I
yeah.
have to still wake up in the
And a
morning with
single
my
mom. You're
children.
a single mom.
A single mom.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still had to do those things. I still had to be present when I wasn't feeling very well inside. And so, Esther, you said something in the first segment about my circle. And I cannot tell you, sometimes my circle got on my nerves because they wanted to do stuff. And I just wanted them to just let me be. You go through a period where you don't want to talk. You
Yeah.
don't want to talk. And so what I would do is just text, because it's just a certain point in time where you don't want to talk, and everybody's like, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And you just want silence. You just want peace. You just want quiet. Because you're dealing with your physical changes, your mental changes, your hormonal changes, how you look, how you smell,
Yeah.
because the chemo is going through your body. It was so many changes
So
that I
it's
had
a
to
it's
go
a great
through.
emotional toll, right? And you said, you felt as if you weren't a woman.
Right,
You
right.
felt, who are you now? What are you now? What's going on? Talk a little bit about that and how you really had to deal with it or overcome it, or how about this, navigate through
That's a good word.
and
Navigate.
emotional, yeah,
I like
navigate
that, because
through it. Yeah.
I want to say that you kind of never get over it,
Yeah.
but you have to navigate through it. And so the womanhood piece was a huge piece. We pride ourselves on our hair, whether we're wearing wigs, weaves, whether we're bald, whether we're hiding our hair, whatever the case may be, not hiding it, but protective styles.
Yeah.
When you have to look at yourself in the mirror, and I would tease, my friends, my close circle, I would say, I look like an old man. I look like an old man. I had a name
I
for
remember
myself.
that because I would say, Aisha, you look so beautiful. I love your hair. I love it when all of her hair fell out and she had to cut it. And I remember just how self-conscious you would say, I look like an old man. I don't look good. And I would honestly look at you and I say, no, you look beautiful because honestly, you really did look beautiful. You did. And I think that's just so important. You know what I mean? And yeah, you finished talking about it because yeah.
So you really question yourself, Esther. You don't feel good and you don't look good. And I know you understand this. When you don't look good on the outside and you're already not feeling good on the inside, it throws you as a woman. Like there, you try to dress yourself up and hide what's going on in the inside, but that's not working because you have physical change. You have no eyebrows, you have no eyelashes, you have no hair anywhere on your body. It's all gone. And so it was so super tough to look in the mirror and see beauty at times. And so I think about that with life because right now in this world, we see so many things that's not beautiful. How people treat each other, how the world is changing, the economy, politics. You don't see beauty, but you have to try to find the beauty within, right? You have to find the joy within because what you see right now, it's not pretty.
No, no.
And so some of that came from looking in the mirror and saying, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I may not have eyebrows, but I got some pretty cheekbones I can work with. I got this, I got that. So I'm like pulling on whatever it is I can pull on, and that's just like life. Like you're going to wake up and you're not going to feel good. You're not going to see things that are good, but so many things that you have to be thankful for. And there's so many times where mindfulness comes into play because you really have to concentrate on the things that are working well. What about the woman who has breast cancer and she doesn't have a place to live? She's homeless. What about someone who doesn't have a transportation to get to chemo? So now you're dealing with chemo, but you're also trying to figure out how you're going to get treatment.
Or the woman who doesn't have the proper health insurance.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm not on chemo anymore, but I take chemo pills. Mm-hmm. Esther, the chemo pills that I take, you get them in 28-day cycles. They give you 3 packs of them. Do you know they cost $4,460 something every time you get your shipment? If it wasn't for people that are donating and helping with breast cancer, I would have to pay that.
Wow. So let me put a pin in that so y'all are hearing the cost of healthcare for women's healthcare. But the cost is high for everyone. The cost of that, and if people weren't donating to the Breast Cancer Foundation, then all of that she would have to pay the $4,000 and something dollars.
And I wouldn't be taking it, okay?
Yeah, because that's like, who could afford it? That's ridiculous. This is the importance of wherever you are to donate to the Breast Cancer Foundation.
Or you can donate to the Breast Cancer Coalition. If you're in Delaware, you can donate to the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. I have on my Facebook page ways that you can donate to the Breast Cancer Coalition, but it's so important. On my birthday, I always have people donate to the Breast Cancer Coalition for my birthday. And last year we raised a lot of money. My birthday's November 2nd, so it's coming up. I need you to support, and we'll share my Facebook handle. in a little bit, but those are the things that count and matter. That medicine, the first time when I ordered it, because it's specialty medicine, she said, ma'am, that'll be $3,500, because it was $3,500 then. That was a year ago. Ma'am, it'll be $3,500, something, something, something. I was in shock. I said, well, I don't have to work on it. Can I put something on it?
The layaway plan.
Yes, right. But think about, and that was with insurance, Esther.
Wow.
So think about the women who don't have insurance and they have a breast cancer diagnosis and they can't get health care.
Yeah. Sad.
And so
this is why we need to do something about the healthcare system. Well, people are always talking about that. And, there's so many things going on right now, discussion, the politics and everything. But healthcare is so important, right? And so having healthcare, again, it's a priority. It's a priority. It's a priority. And something that we definitely should be working on even more in the United States, to where our healthcare system can maybe, we have a great healthcare system, but the access to it.
Mm-hmm.
In other countries, they have easier access. And in this great country, our access isn't as easy. So, after getting the shock of the $3,500 that she said that'll be, what did you do and how did you move on from there?
So the woman that I was on the phone with, when she said how much it was going to be, I was like, I can't pay that. Like, I can't. And she was like, well, we have a program. I mean, I felt like she should have said that first, but she's doing her job. Yeah. So,
if she could get the money from you, let her get that first, right?
Exactly. So she's like, we have a program, we'll set you up with the program. Here's the number. You call the number, and it's through it's through the Breast Cancer Foundation, and then they take care of your costs. It's a program that you have to participate in. And they do calls, they check up on you, they do wellness checks, they see how you're doing, they offer, nutrition and all of these things. You participate and you get in the program. But then when it was time for the next 90-day shipment, I called. And once again, that would be $35. I said, well, I'm in the program. And the woman was like, well, I don't see it. And she was very mean. That's the other thing. Come on, people. We need you to be, it's nice to be nice. It's okay to be kind.
It goes a long way.
It goes a long way. She was so nasty. And I'm thinking, like, what if it was somebody else who was really struggling with the whole breast cancer? By that time, I was okay. Mentally, I was okay. But what if I wasn't? You don't know who you're encountering in different situations. You don't know what they're going through. And so just make sure that when you talk to people and that you interact with people, that you're kind. You don't know what they could be one step from suicide. They could be one step from being homeless. They could be one step from, not being able to feed their family. You don't know. And so it's very important that your conversation and how you interact with people is purposeful and is kind. Be kind. Be nice.
Yeah, it really, what is it? What's that phrase or that you could draw more people with kindness or with honey?
Draw more bees with honeys with the old,
yeah. That's it.
The older saints, the seasons. You draw more bees with honey, But it's nice to be nice.
Yeah, especially when in the position that you're in, and these are cancer survivors or still going through chemo or wherever they are. These are the people that you don't want to be rude to. These are the people you don't want to be rude to. So listen, we're about to take another break and we'll be right back with Aisha Ferrell. All right, everyone, we are back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We are continuing our conversation about breast cancer prevention awareness with my very special guest, Aisha Ferrell. So let's continue this conversation. So Aisha, let's talk about your circle of friends, the people who just kept you moving forward.
Yeah, there are so many people that helped me. As soon as I let people know that I had breast cancer. My friends threw me a pink party right before my first chemo session. Esther was there. Annika was there. Get you a Danisha Alexander, a Tanya Pierce, Dana Brittingham. I mean, so many of my friends, Danielle Mackey, but they all had their own purpose and what they did to help me. Esther is like, what you need? What do I need to do? You know, she's very upfront and blunt, and she's gonna, push you. There was a really bad day, and I want to remind you about this day, Esther, because I don't think that you remember. But one of those days, I already have another medical condition, and so I was dealing with that medical condition and dealing with the pain from chemo, and I had it. I had absolutely had it. And I think I was talking to Ani, and she told you that I was having a bad day. And you called me and you talked me through that day. I don't know if you remember it, but I will never forget it. I don't want to get choked up, but I will never forget
it. Choked up.
Because it was like, okay, God, you got me doing cancer, and now I'm dealing with my own other medical issue. This is too much. It's not right. I went through all the things. It's not right. It's not fair. It's not
I've been faithful. I've been there.
I did breast cancer awareness for 20 some years. And this is what I get. That's how I felt. That's what I said to God. And you can't charge God foolishly. But that's where I was. And Esther talked to me and just kind of calmed me down, and I was able to get through. But I'll never forget that. And then when I had to cut my hair, Annika cut my hair. And not just did she cut my hair, but Annie's not going to say a lot. But it was her quiet presence that I needed at certain times. She's not going to say anything. If you need something, she's going to do it. But just being quiet and being there were times where I would come home from chemo on Friday nights, and she would just come and be there, and I would be asleep. She wouldn't say nothing. She would just let me. Everybody had their piece. And what I'm saying is, you got to find you a Esther Graham and an Annika. You got to find you a Danisha. You got to find you a Dana Brittingham. You got to find those people that are going to fit where you need them to fit and to be what you need them to be in your life. Somebody's going to pick up one piece. Danisha is going to be the one that's going to encourage you, but she's going to make you laugh, and she's going to talk to you about different things, and she's going to bring back the beauty inside of you and help you remember who you are as a person. And it was just so many people. You have to have a circle. They got to hold you accountable. Because Esther was like, all right, but you're not going to stay here. You cannot stay in this place. You have to find those people, and that's just in life in general. You have to have your friends. You cannot have a cheerleading section that doesn't know how to correct you. A cheerleading section to say, you're wrong. A cheerleading section to say, okay, all right, I'm going to let you have your pity party, but now what are we going to do about it? What's your plan A? What's your plan B? What are we going to do about it?
It's that having where everybody has a role that they play. And the one thing that you don't want is someone that's going to let you just stay there.
Right.
And because that's not, you have it for, I'm going to give you 10 minutes. Take 15 if you need it. But at the 15, I cry, scream, you'll get it all out. And then let's get up. Let's put the boxing gloves back on. Because what we're not going to do is stay here. What we are going to do is fight so you can live. Why? Because your life is worth it. You're worth it. And you've got so many things to look forward to. And I think what you're saying there is just so important. Yeah. The circle of friends. If you've got, and I just think this is a good lesson for life overall, by the way. If you've got naysayers around you, if you got people who are always negative and they're just, and you can't even bring them up, maybe that's the person that you just got to love them from a distance.
Right.
When you're in the fight for your life, you have to be very selective on the people that you have surrounding you, because you want people who believe in you. You want people whose faith is so strong. And I'm not talking when I say faith is so strong. This isn't a religious conversation here.
Right.
This is a humanity conversation.
Right.
Makes sense? This is a conversation that says, my faith is strong. My faith in you is strong. And my faith in my belief system, in my God, that's strong. And so together, I'm there to push you.
That's important that you said that, because my sister-in-law is Muslim. My sister-in-law, from the time I was diagnosed, Layla was right there supporting me, pushing me, buying me little encouraging things. And she came to my pink party, and we had just really met not too long before then. But she was so supportive. And so she had enough faith in her God, or what her faith belief system, that she gonna push me and support me no matter what. And so I believe that's so true, and that's why it's so important that you surround yourself with all different types of people, because if everybody's the same and you're all at the same level, then how can you grow? But if you have people that have other experiences, have been places, know more than you, have that faith system to believe that, yeah, you're going to fight and I'm going to fight with you. I'm going to stand in the gap. What do you need? I had people telling me, I'm going to cut my hair too. I was like, no, do not cut your hair. I love you, but do not cut your hair. It is just, yes.
But I understand that, because it's just showing them, let me cut it in solidarity with you. And the other piece is that the people around you should be speaking life into you. You know what I mean? Death and life is in the power of the tongue. Death and life. So surround yourself with people that speak life into you. And that's what you did. You surrounded yourself with people. And I just remember that when I can't remember where it was, and it may have been on your job, when someone said something and you were like, and I said, limit the conversation with them, because what you need to hear all the time is life.
Right. Right.
You don't need to hear the Debbie Downers,
right,
the naysayers.
You already have the people
already got that
diagnosis in itself. You already have people saying, oh, well, a lot of people don't make it through, and chemo.
My cousin had it, and they passed it. Stop. Yeah. You already have that. And many times when you tell people your diagnosis, what do we all do? And it's a natural thing, by the way, that we all do it, because this is how our brain works. And, we go straight to the negative first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't, many of us, unless we've really trained our brains, right? Trained our mind to focus on the positive all the time. Many times we hear, oh, I just got diagnosed, and it just goes, we get sad and it goes negative.
Mm-hmm. And if you know that you're that person, stay away. I'm going to tell you the truth. My best friend, I love my best friend to death. And we've been best friends since I was 13 years old. And she's a nurse. But during the time, she had to stay away. I didn't understand, but I understand now. And you know what she told me? She said, I couldn't handle it. You're the only person I had, and I didn't want to lose you. And I was so down that I didn't want to show that. And I stayed away. And I didn't understand. I didn't even think about it at the time, because I had so many other people. She came around once. But other than that, she stayed away. But she had enough. If you know that you're not strong enough in a situation, and you're with somebody and you can't be a positive person in their life, and you can't be a positive influence, stay away. Send them a card. Send them some flowers, but stay away, because you don't want to damage them. They're already going through. You're going through so much pain, mental and physical challenges. You're going through so much self-esteem. You don't need to hear a naysayer. You don't need to hear death, doom, and gloom. You need to hear there is life. God got you. I got you. You need to hear, come on, girl, we're fighting together. Those are the things that you need. And not just in breast cancer. I'm all pink out, but I'm saying this because you need this in your life.
On a daily basis.
Thank you, on a daily basis. And that don't mean I have to talk to you every day. But when I do talk to you, I'm speaking life into you. When I do talk to you, it's of a positive nature. There's positive things coming out of my mouth. And so that when we receive each other, we're feeding off of each other's power. And it's power in numbers. It's power. If you and I both on it, we both hype, then we hype together. But if I call you and this is nothing gonna work out, Esther. You not gonna do this. You can't do this.
Well, I remember even with you when you had to have the surgery was going through, because there's different stages of this whole thing. There's decisions that have to be made. And, and I remember when you made your decision on the surgery and you were talking, and I remember just saying, I said, you're still a beautiful woman. You're still beautiful, because sometimes when we've got to go through them, as you said earlier, you don't feel like a woman anymore. And I remember, and so I'm going to dime Ani out. There were times, because Ani was very keyed in. And so Ani was let's say my ear to let me know what's going on, because I knew that sometimes you wouldn't call me, but Ani sometimes will send me a text, or she'll say, blah, 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 and then she'll say, don't tell her I told you. And so I'll say, okay. And so what I would do, because we're all beyond it now, I would just wait, I say, okay, I'll wait. And then I may wait till like later, and I may just call and say, hey, what you doing? Right. Or I may call sometimes under the disguise of work. Say, so what's blah, 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 and then I get to say, how are you doing? And then just so I could hear your voice, where you are, what's your tone? Because I have to tell y'all, Aisha, but she's hard-headed.
Very much so.
Yeah, and that's sometimes what happens when you are a woman that's assertive and you're doing all, many of us, we're hard and we're so busy, and she was still busy taking care of everyone else. And we'd have to say, whoa, 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 pull it back. Pull it back. Why are you doing this? Why are you going here? And sometimes take yourself to bed right now.
I'm learning.
Yeah. Go to bed.
I know. I'm still learning that lesson. But what I would say, and I know we got to go, is that this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, please, if you need help or if you need more information, you can go on my Facebook page. It's Aisha Ferrell, my Facebook.com, or Instagram is Ish My Bish. You can go on there and find
what is it? Ish, you got to spell that.
ISHMYBISH at Instagram. But if you can go on the Breast Cancer Coalition, the Breast Cancer Foundation, Google it. They have so many statistics. They'll tell you where to go to get free breast exams. Don't put it off. Share the information with your sister, your cousin, your neighbor, your friend, your coworker, because we all need to be helpers and take care of one another. Prevention is key. There are certain things that you can do to prevent breast cancer. You got to make sure that you're not in a sedentary life, which means sitting all the time. Get up, even in your jobs. Get up and move around. Do a little two-step. We used to do a 2:00 dance break. Do a little 2:00 dance break. Get up and get your body moving. Taking care of your nutrition is helpful. Minimizing your stress is another thing. Minimizing your stress, figuring out how to let some of that go. Unforgiveness hides in your body. If you have unforgiveness in your heart for someone, it hides in your body. And those cells, they feed on one another and it causes cancer. Get your life together so you can live. I want you to live. I want y'all to live.
To live. We're going to take a quick break once again, and then we'll be right back for our last segment. See you in a minute. Welcome back to Living a Life by Design with me, your host, Dr. Esther Graham, and my very special guest, Aisha Ferrell. So, Aisha, what are some immediate steps? We've heard your story, your journey, so powerful and so encouraging. So what are some steps for that woman who's listening? And it makes her, she may have a friend, a family member. What are the first steps that you would say? What are some things immediately?
First thing is start doing your monthly self-exams and do it around the same time every month. If you're still, having your cycle, do it around after your cycle is over, because you naturally, have swelling. So do it after that, but do it the same time every month. Check yourself so that you can monitor anything that you're feeling, and make sure that if you do feel something, that you talk with your doctor and you go into the doctor and they can check you as well. If you don't have insurance, look at your state, wherever you are in your state. They have coalitions that support, they have free breast screenings. They'll have like a breast band that come out and do. Go, if you don't have insurance, you can always go there, and those are free. Or your local state services, clinics, and different things like that. They also have free breast screenings, and they'll tell you where you can go to get them. The other thing, like I said, is if you don't know about something, or if you feel like there's something, go and ask questions with your doctor. And tell your doctor you have concerns and you need help, and they will help you and lead you to the right direction. You can always call the Breast Cancer Coalition in your state. They have information, they have materials, they can hook you up with a buddy. If you have a diagnosis and you don't know where to start, go to the coalition, because they have people they can pair with you. They have a buddy system. They have groups for just Black and brown women. They have groups for older women. They have groups for young women. They have all different types of support systems. If you don't have, anybody to help you, or if you don't have a circle, they have a circle. If you are going through chemo, or you're going through radiation or surgery and you need support, get yourself a therapist. You can also ask the coalition. You can ask your doctor. They can hook you up with a therapist. I did it when I first started. I also joined like a group it was like a monthly circle of people who had breast cancer with me. And then we would share cooking, and we would share stories and things like that. But I had my circle was tight. So I didn't need to go to those things all the time, because my circle, they were my support group. They didn't even know it, but they were my support group. So the support groups were good, but it wasn't for me as much, because I already my circle was tight, and they still are tight. So I didn't need that. But go and ask for information. If you live in the Delaware area and you need some support, Aisha Ferrell is here to support you.
Check her out on Facebook. Even if you're not in Delaware, look to see what she's putting on Facebook, because it could speak life to you.
Yes. I'm doing something on social media every day, Monday through Friday. I do different activities to support breast cancer awareness. I'll be doing that all month long. We'll be sharing information. I'll be going live, doing some information sharing. I always give facts because I think facts are important. Data is important. I will be speaking at a couple of churches in the area if you're in Delaware. I'll be speaking and doing breast cancer awareness tables where I'll have information and swag and all of those beautiful things. I'm out here, y'all. I'm spreading the message. It's near and dear to my heart. It always has been, but it has a different meaning now. And I just want others to be encouraged. This month is also Domestic Violence Month. Oh, and I don't know if you guys know it, but on October 17th is the day where we wear purple to celebrate and to be aware about domestic violence. Not celebrate it, but celebrate the women who have, and the men who have said enough is enough. And so if you know someone, or if you are someone yourself and you need help and you need support, there are people out here to help you. And I just want to say that because we got some women who are diagnosed and dealing with domestic violence. And so you want to make sure, if you need some support, I'm also here. We want to make sure that everybody wins. And that woman asked me, the doctor asked me, did I want to live and did I want to fight? And I said, yes. I encourage everybody, that is watching, that whatever you're in, you have to make a choice to live. If it's addiction, make a choice to live. If it's depression and oppression, make a choice to live. You have two options. You either live and you either go and you fight, or you die. And I know there are so many people that are depending on you. You are dependent on you. You can't give up on you. I could have gave up on myself. I could have gave up and said, I'm not going to fight. I'm not doing chemo. I ain't doing none of that. Whatever happens, happens. But I had to make a choice to live. You have to make a choice to live. Whatever that situation is, you have to make a choice to live.
So at the end of the day, right, before we close, at the end of the day, the decision for you is make the choice to live and fight. Put it together, live and fight, right? Don't live and just live. No, you have to fight, right? And so make sure that you connect, that you to Aisha, look and see what's available. And so I'm so super excited. I like that word, super excited, because, I always say it all the time, that you guys have joined us today. I want to do a quick celebration. And first of all, let me just celebrate Aisha's circle of friends, and some of them I know well, and some I don't know very well. I know Ani very well, and I know Ani was all in, very much so, and very
That's my big head.
and just very keyed into exactly what was going on with you. And honestly, I used to observe her and just watch her grow and just see that. It just amazed me. And so celebrating, and anybody who's got a powerful circle of friends, I'm celebrating you. If you've been diagnosed with cancer, we're still celebrating you because you're living. And then I also want to celebrate, I have a very good friend, Deborah Bradley, who texted me this morning, and her daughter graduated from law school, and she took her bar exam, and she is now attorney Bryce Bradley Esquire. Yes. And then yesterday, my daughter got the results of her, she was told the results of her board certification as a physician. And so now she is a board certified physician. And what's also great about that is that her score was above the national, was way above that she was told. She hasn't seen the exact number, but her director said your score was way above the national average of physicians.
Awesome.
And so once again, so we're celebrating Dr. Aisha Graham, attorney Bryce Bradley Esquire. We're celebrating the circle of friends. We're celebrating Ani, who went above and beyond in giving support. We're celebrating all of you out there, all of you, especially if you're battling breast cancer right now. Make the decision to live. I love you. Make sure you connect, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take care and God bless.
You have been listening to Living a Life by Design, the journey back to you, and living 365 days of purpose with host Esther Graham. Listen or watch live every second and fourth Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Discover that what is possible is already in you. God designed a phenomenal life for you. Esther helps you ignite that energy behind your personal journey for a deeper joy and peace, living 365 days of purpose. For more information on living a life by design, visit fddwomen.com.